He was known as the most handsome man in all of England. With nothing but his striking looks, he won the king's favor, eventually climbing his way to the absolute pinnacle of power. His name was George, a young man born a commoner. At 18, his mother sent him to France to study. Every day, he practiced graceful dances and mastered the art of catching the king's eye. 3 years later, George returned home. His mother managed to secure him a job serving meals to the king. For his first audience with the king, George carried himself with perfect poise, hoping to make a great impression. However, another server, bitter about being replaced by George, held a deep grudge. As George walked by, the man deliberately stuck out his foot and tripped him. George crashed to the floor, food splattering everywhere, making him the laughingstock of the entire room. Yet, while everyone else laughed, the king's gaze was different. He looked at George with a unique curiosity. This immediately signaled a threat to the king's current favorite, Somerset, who felt a sudden surge of insecurity. Humiliated, George scrambled to his feet and lunged at the man who had tripped him. But Somerset pinned him down and attempted to have his hand cut off as punishment. Just as George hit rock bottom, the king stepped in and stopped it, declaring that he had seen the other man trip George with his own eyes. George's debut ended in total disgrace. Devastated by the shame, he tried to take his own life. Fortunately, his mother stopped him and asked exactly what had happened at the palace. George poured his heart out, but to his surprise, his mother didn't blame him. Instead, she told him that he had already succeeded in getting the king's attention. She told George to go wait by the road where the king usually passed to try his luck. But when he arrived, he found the roadside already packed with men, all desperate to become the next royal favorite. As the royal carriage sped by, the men waved their arms frantically. George tried to push through the crowd but was shoved to the ground by the mob. He returned home and told his mother the plan had failed, so she began searching for another way. She soon learned that Somerset, emboldened by the king's favor, had become incredibly arrogant, even showing blatant disrespect to the queen. The queen already viewed Somerset as her enemy. George's mother realized that if they could gain the queen's support, things would go much smoother. She managed to secure an audience with the queen through the Duke of David. Bonding over their common enemy, she promised that she and George would remain loyal to the queen and help her get rid of Somerset for good. With the queen's backing, George gained easy access to the palace. During a court banquet, George caught the king's eye with his graceful dancing, and the king's gaze was filled with unmistakable affection. Later, the queen brought the king to visit George in private, slipping away from Somerset's watchful eyes.
I think it's time for a new member in your bedchamber.
Rise, Sir George.
The king made an exception and knighted George on the spot. This title was just the first step on his climb to the pinnacle of power.